let's take a ride here. So it's easy enough if you arrive at the bus station behind the morning market. It's easy enough if you're walking into the center here looking for a place to stay, to walk past the morning market along the side there and then cross over. You see the Victory Arch there and the big avenue, and then go down the side street and you'll see the Dam Stupa there, and then head on this way and make sure you bring a big stick. You never know when you might need a big stick. Had a couple dogs act aggressively towards me this morning. Would have been handy to have a big stick. Okay, we're coming up into the main part of the old town. Okay, heading down the same way still. Crossing over here. Little souvenir shop there. Organic coffee roasters. Laos is famous for excellent coffee, by the way. People always talk about Vietnam, but don't forget Laos. Of course, Vietnam was a place controlled by the French for a long time, as was Laos and Cambodia for that matter. So you see the French influence quite a lot in these three places, and coffee is a big part of that. If you love really good coffee, this is a good place for you. Okay, we're coming up to Nam Phu, which is a square with a fountain, and as you can see, a clock tower, and the little street leading to it that we're on now is pretty much, I would say, the heart of the old town. This would be the center of the old town, really. Although I would say tourists or foreigners tend to gravitate more to this side of the old town. We've come from the other side, so yeah, mostly you'll see foreigners are on this side more, and we'll be going and checking that area in a little bit. So this square in the center here, it's been brought back to similar to what it used to be like when I first came here. So just after I first came here about 12 years ago, they remodeled this place and really stuffed it up, to be honest. You see it's got some nice old buildings. There used to be a fantastic cafe in here called the Scandinavian Bakery. It's gone out of business. COVID has killed a lot of businesses. You might have noticed a bunch of places are closed down as we're walking along, and you'll see that more and more as we walk along. But the place is bouncing back. Anyway, they did an awful job of remodeling this square. They put what was it, some kind of kiosks in the middle, which made it that you couldn't actually see the square. These kind of cheap little fast food kiosks. It was just horrible. Now they've kind of brought it back to what it was. It's a charming place again. And just gonna peek around the corner and then go back in there towards the square. I want to show you guys something. And this is called this place with the big communist flag here. It's called Kopjaidur. And the area where the people are sitting outside there used to be an open garden area, and then they've kind of covered that up now and made it that it's all with built up kind of structures. But this used to be an open garden area. There's a nice original old building in the middle of all this, which is hard to see now, but over there is a good cafe, Yoma or Joma. It's quite a good spot for some pastries and coffee. But yeah, Kopjaidur in Laos, it means thank you very much. And yeah, it's a quite a famous place actually. Definitely worth checking out. Just heading down the little side street that goes out of Nampu Square. This is a cool little restaurant in the side here. Definitely worth a mention. If you come through here on the weekdays at lunchtime, you'll notice lots of a lot of government workers come along here looking for some lunch. Lots of pretty local women with white blouses and traditional wraparound skirts, which are called sins. So they all wear their nice sin when they work in their office jobs here. It's kind of the way they do it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so it's really nice when you wander past this way around lunchtime in the weekdays to see all the pretty government office ladies coming out of their government jobs looking for their lunch in little groups, and everyone looks really fantastic with the way they dress here. Nice to see people wearing some traditional style, that's for sure. I really appreciate stuff like that. Had a bit of a hassle with the guest house. Checked in yesterday and I was suffering from a bit of heat stroke actually from filming over in Nong Khai for you guys. Yesterday afternoon, in the middle of the afternoon, when only the Englishmen and the mad dogs are out in the sun, and I got really burnt up, really burnt up. It was awful. I felt really rough by the time I got to the guest house yesterday evening as the sun was going down. And I've stayed at that place. Now it's probably about the third or fourth time that I've stayed there. So every time I come here, I notice they put the prices up in the guest houses, right? So all I wanted was to get checked in, have some aircon, have a shower, cool down a bit, and then I had to do some important stuff. I needed the internet, right? So the aircon didn't work in the room, the internet didn't work in the room. Had to muck around for about an hour showing the owner's husband that the stuff doesn't work, and he's trying to play around with it like he can magically make it work, even though he obviously couldn't. He had obviously had a few too many. He was a bit worse for the wear on top of that and reeked from it. And I talked to her about it this morning and said I would like a little bit of a reduction in the price. So she said okay, but then she kind of copped the attitude and she was trying to be like, oh, but the aircon does work in there. I was almost to the point where I was going to check out of there. I said it to her. And then I said, come and have a look at it. So she had a look at it. Then she said, okay, she admitted it didn't work. Anyway, it's just the kind of strange attitudes you run up against in this part of the world sometimes, which can be really frustrating. Let's look over this fence here. This was the That was the National Museum of Laos. And it was a very cool place, I can say. Really lovely old building, really interesting, quirky exhibits. They've closed it down. They're building a new museum somewhere further out, and it's kind of sad, I think. But I hope they don't destroy this building. I hope they use it for something cool. Anyway, I just want to show you guys that. It's a good memory from the past. And also just harkening back to the comment about the guest house. It's just something you run into in this part of the world where the denial of reality, or treating foreigners like we don't know anything at all. You know, like she's trying to say, I don't know how to operate the remote control for the aircon properly, you know. This kind of attitude, even though you've been coming to the same place for years, even if you've lived in the region for years, they still treat you like you're a baby. Sometimes, some people. Anyway, of course, there are lots of nice people too, but you constantly run up against these same kind of issues. Okay, heading down along the side of where the museum building is there, and there's the National Stadium. I think it's the National Stadium. I don't know where it was. Maybe it's not now, but it's a pretty cool place. This part's new. And this was the Beer Lao building in the past, with lots of cute beer girls that used to work in there with cute uniforms. See, they've got tennis in there. Anyone for tennis? Alright, making a left turn here. This building with the horrible big glass windows has been kind of spoiled. It used to have a lovely outdoor balcony area here. It's actually a really beautiful old French building, and it's been remodeled. It used to be great sitting up on the balcony up here, or underneath here in the terrace, and it had old plants in the front, and it was the oldest, cheapest guest house in Vientiane. Where all the long-term travelers like to stay. It was a wonderful place. So let's head on down here, taking another left, and yeah, sad to think about the Siri 1 guest house and all the good times I had there when I first came here, especially. This is a nice little guest house as well here. Yeah, good times at the Siri guest house, sitting out on the upstairs balcony at nighttime, meeting fellow travelers, exchanging stories, having a few beers and a few smokes and a few jokes, and really some of the best times. Getting stories from people who were coming in from every direction. And it's tucked right in the back of the main core of the old town. I used to stay in the upstairs bedroom, the biggest bedroom that was right in the middle of the place. Had a big double bed, ceiling fan, no aircon. Had the odd bed bug, unfortunately, but yeah, it's a big old wood house, so hard to get rid of bed bugs actually. Yeah, construction everywhere. But as long as they keep the really nice old buildings, I guess it's alright. Lots of construction. Yeah, it was nice in that room, that bedroom, in the Seri guest house there. That big room, listening to the sound of the tropical rain in the rainy season. It's a good way to fall asleep. Be careful of the stray dogs. He's a cute one, isn't he? But he or she, not sure about that, but had a couple dogs try to give me a hassle earlier today, as I mentioned. Nighttime's usually the time when that can be a problem. Okay, so I stopped for a quick drink break there. Let's continue the same way. The sun is getting a bit lower now. Good noodle shop. Hello! How many staff do you need to run a noodle shop, eh? Well, I guess the more you have, the more important you must be, eh? This is a good corner for some food, by the way. Yeah, the whole philosophy of the more workers I have, the more important I must be is something you see over in Thailand a lot. Not so much here in Laos, but it's quite normal in Thailand. You'll see 10 workers with maybe 2 actually working and the rest kind of chatting with them or something. So the light is getting nice now. Modernity comes to the backwater of communism. Good place to hang out there. Just hanging out. Is that industrial music? Techno? Not sure about that. There was an ugly building here that used to have, I think, Chinese wedding celebrations. It's gone now. They've put this market here. Good spot for some food, but mostly geared to foreigners, to tourists. Not so much for the locals. Although I'm sure plenty of them do come down here. Beautiful old temple behind there. A few places to change money around here. It's always better to change your currency in this country, not outside this country. You get a better rate and make your purchases with local money, and you'll save a good bit of money from your trip costs. More construction. And we're coming up on Noise Fruit Heaven, one of my favorite places to have a drink and a snack. Let's head down a little side street. There was a nice old building here last time I came through. It was a place that should have been actually preserved. So it's like a nice spot in there. Slowly the tone of the place changes, coming into the modern world. We were further down there before. That's where Kop Jai Do is. Dental clinic. This is actually the main road through the oldest part of the city. This would be rush hour, okay, on a Sunday, but not much different on a weekday. Looks like some good food in there. It's fairly popular. And here's the famous Samlaw pub. There's a notice outside. I don't know what that says. I hope it hasn't been closed down. I would like to come here tonight. Samlaw pub is about probably the oldest really cool pub in Vientiane. There were some other cool places, but they've closed down. This is kind of the last one, really. This one's also a cool temple. We saw that from the other side a little earlier. This footpath parking thing is becoming a real problem in Vientiane. It's really obnoxious. I know the authorities have been appealing to people to not do it, but car ownership is going up as the economy has opened up. More people have cars, and yeah, they want to park them somewhere. But you know, if you're gonna buy a car, you should plan for that, shouldn't you? Right? I mean, it's a bloody footpath. Look, most of these people, a lot of these people don't leave anywhere for people to walk. Oh, it's a real scourge. Through there.
The YouTuber.
So this intersection is pretty much the hub of the nightlife, of the entertainment. If you go straight on here, further down, there's the airport, and there used to be a couple really good discos down there, and Chandamai Guesthouse was one of my favorites, just here on the right side, but it changed ownership, so it kind of lost its appeal when they made a bunch of changes to it. And this road is part of a ring road that goes around, which is kind of okay place to check for a few restaurants and so on. Let's head down the side here, the temple, and hope that the side gate is open, because this temple is a really good shortcut actually. Kind of enter the temple grounds from different sides. And it's a kind of a nice temple in its own way. It's quite decent. It's got a drum tower there. And you come out the back gate here, and it's a different world. Lovely and quiet. Hear the birds singing. Quiet little back street in here. Look at this. Wonderful. Look at this cute little restaurant. Talk about ambience. And this quiet little street is a really great shortcut to get down to the river. That's what we're doing now. Very nice. And the night market is kicking off here on the Riverside, which is a really fun thing. Having a look in the night market, it's some definitely must do. Starts just there and goes for about probably almost a half kilometer or more than that probably. Up here on the rooftop there was the best bar in Laos called Vientiane. It's very sad that it's out of business now. It was an open air bar with a pool table and ice cold beer lao. You could sit up there and look over the night market to the river and watch the sunset with a cold beer. And there were lots of travelers who would congregate up there, and lots of friendly locals. If you were interested to have someone to have a bit of chatting or whatever going on with, you could meet some friendly companions up there. It's kind of a legendary place. Okay, so this street is pretty much the main kind of tourist type street, you could say. The most lively one, running down to the river through the center of the old town. Not really the center. Nampu is the center, where the fountain is, where I showed you guys before, but remember I said it's more active over on this side of the old town for foreigners, and you can see that that is true. And this street is the most popular one. Motorbike with no light, what could go wrong? Another one just up there. You see that a lot in this part of the world. Some people claim it saves gas to ride their motorbike at night with no light. I guess over the course of a lifetime, you might save a few pennies if you live very long. Oh, this is interesting. They've made this street into a little night market. That's a new thing. Well, mini night market. Yeah, this is a nice wee street back here as well. It's a lovely little spot. Take a right turn, another little lane down here, right in the heart of the old town. So you can see in Vientiane there are a lot of little places tucked away. We were down there before. A lot of these riverside places in the past were lovely little old buildings with a few restaurants and various types of businesses. You can see there's still some old original style here. Hello. Yeah, we're starting to see more and more people coming to Laos from further afield, from various places around the world.